Welcome back to Hockey Talks. I am Carl, that is Dave, and boy, we got a lot to unpack here in this episode. Starting off with a big trade from the Vancouver Canucks involving JT Miller.
Well, who'd have thunk?
Who would have thought of all this commotion between him and Elias Pettersson?
Yeah.
One is out the door finally. And we knew it was coming. I said it on the previous...
It's been a few months in the making, I think. Eh?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
We haven't really heard about it since last month, beginning of January, or end of December maybe, where they all started to... Everything really started to unfold, right?
Yeah.
And you got realizing what was going on. But I knew it was only a matter of time. And here we are. JT Miller traded to the New York Rangers. They traded JT Miller, Eric Branson, and the rights to Jackson Doring for Philip Chytil, whatever you want to call it, and prospect Victor Mancini.
Ooh.
And a conditional first-round pick, depending where they draft in the draft coming up in 2025.
Yeah.
But so in returns for JT Miller, Philip Chytil, a prospect, Victor Mancini, which is also he's been playing pretty well for the New York Rangers, right? He's fit in really well. So
do you think they made the right call? Do you think they should like JT Miller over top of Pettersson?
Personal opinion,
Mm-hmm.
I've said this before, I would rather keep JT.
Oh, really?
I would.
Because I heard he was kind of like almost like a bully on the team, right?
See, this is, I don't know if it's just me thinking it, probably not, but I think that it was the opposite.
You think Pettersson was the bully?
Okay.
Little
Pettersson?
Here we are. He's like a little kitty cat.
Pettersson, he looks like he's an innocent guy, right?
Yeah.
But I have a feeling, JT Miller took that leave of absence for a while. Unknown reasons why he took that leave, right? Nobody knows why or anything like that. But I think he looked very, very unhappy for the last month or two, right? Almost looked like he still played hard, played great, but just didn't look like he was enjoying himself in Vancouver anymore, right? So that led me to speculation to where maybe it was the other way. Pettersson wasn't getting his way and he was whining about it, and then JT Miller obviously barks back and stuff like that, and I think it kind of goes both ways here, right?
Yeah.
So if it was my opinion, I think I would have traded Pettersson and kept JT Miller, because JT Miller is a lot more of a grinder, a playmaker than Pettersson has been.
Yeah.
And I think ever will be for the Vancouver Canucks. So that being said, the trade is done. They announced that Elias Pettersson is off the trade block now.
Yeah, okay.
But after that, they did make some other trades. They acquired another Pettersson in Marcus Pettersson from the Penguins.
Awesome.
And Drew O'Connor from the Penguins for forward Danton Heinen and Vincent Desharnais, and the rights to forward Melvin Feinstrom and a 2025 first round pick. So they flipped that pick that they got from the Rangers and acquired Marcus Pettersson, which now I just learned today that they signed him to a 6-year deal. So he's already made an impact on the team, which is great, right? JT Miller has made a huge impact for the Rangers, right? He played for the Rangers for the first 5 years of his career.
Yeah.
And now he's back, and he's made a huge impact already, right? So I think it'll be a very good fit for them in New York. It was tough to lose JT, and that's my personal opinion. Is I would have rather keep JT. What about you? Who would you rather keep?
I still would have gotten rid of both.
Got rid of them both?
Yeah.
Start fresh.
And I kind of think, I do kind of think that Miller maybe was a bit of a bully. But I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. And I don't really know, you know what I mean? It's just speculation at this point, coming from the team of New York going towards it. And Pettersson strikes me as the passive aggressive type, where, if he doesn't get his way, or if somebody else is kind of talking him down to him, he might not like it very much. Blah blah blah. Anyways, I think that maybe both of them should be taken off. Do you know if Pettersson is going to be off of the trade block, or are they still looking to get rid of him? Or
they were talks about still getting to, right? Columbus had talks about this, but this was before the Miller trade. But now he's officially been taken off for now, is what they said. He's officially been taken off for now. They're not looking to trade him at the moment. But there's still been some talks and rumors that they might, if the right deal comes along, then maybe Pettersson's out as well.
Yeah.
But as for now, I think they want to try to focus and build things around him, because originally he was supposed to be the star of this team.
Well, right? Yeah, but he just doesn't have that in him. You know what I mean?
He hasn't shown it. Like,
no, he's a passive player. He's afraid to shoot and all that, and afraid to have it's almost like he's just a huge introvert, right? He doesn't like the attention.
Well, this is the first real test. Now there's no more distraction. JT Miller's gone. If Pettersson doesn't perform, then Pettersson should be out too, right? And then it probably should have been the other way, right? Is what I'm thinking. But now is Elias Pettersson's chance to show that he is the guy, and they made the right choice.
But here's where I think that Elias Pettersson was using it as an alibi or an excuse to not play as hard. And because you know how it is, right? Those people in the workplace, right? They don't want to try 110% every single game, so they think of excuses. And then the next thing you know, he's like, well, he has a problem with JT Miller. It's like, okay, we're gonna get rid of JT Miller. Now you should perform 110% every game. But sooner or later, it's just going to be something else. Mm-hmm. And I look forward to when that happens, because then you guys will have to figure out what exactly to do with them.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, I don't know if it was 100% JT Miller at fault here. Mm-hmm. Sure, it could have been some. He is a very, very aggressive guy, right? And he's
abrasive, blunt,
loud, right? He makes his opinions loud and cleared to everybody, right? So he's not a quiet guy. Not a quiet guy in the locker room. He will just say what he wants to say. But that's what makes him really good on the ice too, right? He's not afraid of anything. He'll get into those dirty areas, and he scores lots of goals. And I don't know. My personal opinion, I think it should have went the other way.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens right now. Pettersson needs to step up, along with Pettersson 2 and 3. Now
the three amigos
on the Vancouver Canucks.
Or should I say the Stooges?
The 3 Peters.
The 3 Peters.
3 Peters.
Careful with that one.
2 Elias, and Marcus.
Mm-hmm.
But Marcus Pettersson has been he's been doing some good things already.
Good.
So within the trade with the Penguins, right? So that was the one they flipped the first round pick.
So is JT Miller. In fact, leads me to a question.
Okay.
So JT Miller has been on a 3-game point streak, I believe, 3-game point streak on the New York Rangers. Now, how many days does this point streak span? That's the question.
For JT Miller?
Yeah, on the New York Rangers.
How many days it would be, like, since he got traded? Total? Okay. Wow.
He's on a 3-game point streak with the New York Rangers. How many days does it span?
3 days.
2,500.
2,500?
Mm-hmm.
Since...
Because it's going back to when he previously got traded.
So he had a point in his last game.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying. Oh, man. Oh, there we go. Look at that. 2,500 days. Beat that anybody.
But it really shows he's there. He is going to be contributing to the team. New York Rangers still have a chance at obviously making a run for the playoffs with how tight it is lately.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with them. It seems like they had a bad start to the season, but they're really picking it up here on the latter end. Yeah. When there's something like, an average maybe of 30 games left for every team, I think that's just enough time for Miller to be able to contribute quite a bit, especially with the other things they have going for him.
Yeah.
On the Rangers, and it makes you wonder how much is Ovechkin going to be Contributing to Washington's weird success that they've been having lately.
Yeah,
they're
really
second.
Good success.
Yeah, they're second in the NHL by 2 points, I believe. It's Winnipeg Jets currently, and then it's the Washington Capitals. And he just got an empty net goal in his last game, which puts him. He puts about 878 goals.
878.
So he's and he needs 894 to break Wayne Gretzky's record.
Yeah.
So that's the Ovechkin tracker. Now, He has 29 games left to play this season, with I think that would leave him 14 goals left to go. That's a goal every 2 games. Last 5 games, he has 3 goals. He's actually on a 3-game goal streak right now.
Yeah.
Now, do you think it is possible for him to make it in? I know usually your opinion is that it's going to go till next season. Just waiting to see if your mind will change.
I think it's still going next season, right?
Yeah.
See, they only have 29 games to play left,
yeah.
you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be very, very tough. And the last few of his goals have been empty net goals, right? So if they weren't for the empty net goals, he would still need those extra 3 somewhere.
So the real question is, do you think he can get 14 empty net goals in the next 29 games?
Okay, so it's pretty much every other game he's got to get an empty net goal. It's possible. I don't think he's still going to break it this year, right? I really don't think he's going to. There's a chance, but it's...
And then, do you think that he has enough in him to play another year? He does. He is looking more and more tired. He's 39.
He's going to play another year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if he doesn't break that record this year.
Yeah.
He's going to play another year. Because I know he wants that just as much as everybody else wants it. Right?
Apparently.
More or less everybody else.
Yeah.
Sure, there's a few guys out there that don't want him to break that record, but
he's
going to. He is going to break that record next year.
Yeah.
I think. But
just remember, though, Gretzky's goal in his season-end playoffs, I think, is 1,016. That's his record. So,
yeah,
for the playoffs included.
Playoffs included, right? Yeah. He has playoffs, so
yeah.
So
I don't actually know how much goals Ovechkin has with playoffs included, but I guarantee it's not.
It's not even close. I don't think so.
Close to that, maybe 950.
Yeah, ish, something like that. I think we looked it up once, but
yeah,
somewhere around that. But yeah, it's only regular season goals, anyways.
Yeah.
So, but. Yeah, something else that came down the NHL. Ryan Hartman, he's been in the NHL for a long time, right? He's played with a few different teams, or mainly the Minnesota Wild. He's been known for his suspensions and doing stupid things on the ice, dirty play and stupid things on the ice. Well, here he went again, a game against the Ottawa Senators. Him and Tim Stützle were facing off in a face-off in the Wild zone. And Hartman pretty much threw his head into the ice. He pushed his head directly down and into the ice, right? You see Stützle was cut up by the eyebrow and stuff like that. But he gets a 10-game suspension for pretty much driving Tim Stützle's head into the ice. So
without even making it look like an accident.
No, it wasn't even close. You could
he pile drived his head into the ice.
Yeah. Some people are saying, oh, well, he just lost balance. Or, no, that's not losing balance.
Yeah.
Come on. You could easily see that he was intentionally trying to do that. Maybe not so much to the point where he's trying to injure. But, I mean, you drive somebody's head into the ground, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah.
Like, that's just a dangerous play as it is. So I think he deserved every game of that. Every game of a 10-game suspension, if not more.
Yeah.
I mean, 10 games is a lot. But, I mean, he's done a lot of stupid things over his career, right? And he just doesn't seem to learn.
But it's good to see him taking a little bit more action upon things like that. You know what I mean?
Like the suspension while he
yeah. And like the crazy thing is, I know it looks obvious because it was obvious, but I hope they start doing those like more and more of those types of suspensions for the ones that don't look as obvious, but these players know perfectly well what they're doing.
Oh yeah.
You know? Yeah. And it started with, the McDavid suspension where he was suspended and we'll see what happens. But if they're going to start to be a little more aggressive on their suspensions and start to call the game properly for the health and the well-being of these players, then I think that's a good thing. That's a pro.
It is good. Yeah, like I said, I think they came down with the right amount of games, 10 games. It's a lot of games. It's a huge loss for the Minnesota Wild, but at the same time, he deserves every bit of it, I think. Personally, I think that. Absolutely. Okay, one topic here. We want to...
One more, a big one.
One more topic.
If you're into politics.
We would like to, we're going to try to keep...
We'll keep politics out of it.
Very minimal here. But, as you know, what's going on between Canada and the USA is we're set to USA. Donald Trump was trying to put tariffs onto Canada, which has been delayed since. But bringing that into the hockey world, where they do the national anthem before every game. So the Canadians started booing the American National Anthem as soon as it was played, right? So that started earlier this week. Soon as after that February 2nd date or whatever came down, they started booing the American National Anthem as soon as it was played. Well, the Americans started doing that back to the Canadians. So they've done it a couple of times, but the question being, politics aside, all that kind of stuff aside, first question is, should they be booing it?
Or no?
No.
That's very disrespectful.
Yes.
I don't think anybody should boo an anthem, no matter what your opinion is.
I think just keep it to yourself. You don't have to boo it. Sure, you show your frustration, but now, okay.
But in something you regret, like the kid. Sorry.
No, you don't do it.
I was going to say, it just reminds me of a kid having a tantrum. You know?
Yeah.
They'll do things that they don't have control over. You know? They'll say things, they'll do things because they don't have control because they're angry. That's what that reminds me of. People that aren't having control. People need to remember that we're civilized here. We don't need to boo the other team's national anthem. If you want to give it to them, beat them in the game. You don't got to boo their national anthem. That's so...
It doesn't really have too much to do with the hockey side of it, the booing. It has more, like we said, the politics, which you try to really, really keep limited on this show, right? But we bring it up because this leads me to another question, is should the national anthem be a part of NHL games? Or any other sport, for that matter? Should the national anthem actually be a part of it?
I'll let you start.
I think no.
Why?
Because we don't need to play the national anthem every time a sporting event is happening. I know a lot of people probably disagree, right? It gives patriotic to the country, right, of the national. But a sporting event, I don't think it needs to be played there. I don't think it needs to be a part of it, right? It's just something I think can just be taken out completely. So that's my thoughts on it. I think they should just axe the entire thing.
Okay.
Will that ever happen? Probably not. Unless this whole booing thing keeps going on, and maybe Gary Bettman will change his mind, but I highly doubt it.
Yeah.
But what are your opinions on that?
Well, I think the other side, I guess I'll take the other side on that one.
Yeah.
I think that this goes back years and years and years to the beginning of hockey, much like sports, right? And if things get hard for a little bit, like they are right now, and you have a bit of inconvenience, I don't think it should demolish, a 100-year kind of what they do. Yeah, because if you think of what's all rooted around it, it could be very meaningful and impactful. Maybe not every season game, but it's just nice to remember that, hey, we live in I guess it depends on what you think the anthem is. Like, to me, it reminds us that we're Canada and America. We're living in a free country.
Yeah,
we're lucky to be here. We're lucky to live in a country that can actually create players like this.
Yeah,
that can play to this level.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I get out of it. Is when you hear the anthem, it reminds you that, hey, we're lucky to be in a country that can actually create these players, and then these players owe everything that they're doing in their lifestyle to the country. Because if it didn't have that country, they wouldn't exist, and they would be something else.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. That's fair. Yeah. Like, people look at it in different perspectives.
But let me ask you this: if nobody was booing the anthems, would you still think we should get rid of them?
I've thought about it for a long time. Yeah, I think we should. I don't think there's really a need to have a national anthem before a sporting event, right? I mean, it's like a fun thing that we do. It's not like it's not like a priority that will help Canada. I mean, I shouldn't say help Canada, but I mean, or help any nation. It's just a fun time to come out and enjoy some hockey, right? I don't know if we really need to have a national anthem before every season. See, if we had something like big, like a big sporting event, I guess, say, I guess we could use the Olympics like that. We could do that, right? Or like if we do World Juniors or something like that, if the Team Canada wins, sure, you can play the Team Canada logo or Team Canada anthem. And same with any other country, right? They win, you play their anthem, right? But between every single before every single sporting event, I don't think it needs to be there, right? That's just my thought. Yeah. I'm not saying any disrespect to the anthem. I love the Canadian anthem. I love the American anthem. It's great, right? I love the national anthem. And there's a time and a place for them. I just don't think it needs to be before sporting events.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, okay. And it's just interesting because if you go, like, what is a sporting event? Well, if it was just Canadian teams playing Canadian teams, I would completely agree with you. Okay. Right? And that's, I guess, where we differ.
Okay, yeah. So you think it should still be in?
Regardless
of what's going on. Oh yeah, you take the booing out of it
just because all the players owe everything that they have to the country, much like the viewers. The viewers owe everything they have to the country. There's a reason why they don't have this in like Africa. You know what I mean?
Well, I know that it's not throwing any disrespect to the countries, right? By
not it's not throwing disrespect. It's just a nice reminder that the only reason they have what they have is because of their country. Right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see that. Yeah. But for some reason, I just don't see it necessary before the hockey games.
Yeah, that's fine.
Right. That's just my opinion. I know people have various opinions on it.
Let us know what you think.
A lot of people like to have that national anthem, and it means something to them, right? So, but yeah, we thought we'd just give our opinions on that, on all the booing and stuff between the national anthems, Canadians and Americans. But we'll see where it goes from there. I don't think it's going to last too long, but I think the national anthems are going to stay. I do think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Extra television time. Get some extra commercials in there.
Yep. Exactly. Okay, well, that is all the time we have for tonight. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you next time.